From an early age to early adulthood, I was not allowed to play shooting games in my household when I was living with my family. They were very conservative and Christian in that way, so I didn't get that full experience. I was mostly a Sonic and Mario kid, while my friends in high school and eventually in college were playing Call of Duty, Halo, and games such as that. So I did not have the experience, let alone the knowledge of shooting games. However, there was one game that kind of went under the cracks that my parents didn't know that I had and was playing because it was free and they didn't know anything about computers at the time, and that was Team Fortress 2. I had a blast with Team Fortress 2. It was so fun. I was not good at it, but I loved all the quirky different characters and classes and just being able to go around and have fun and chat with people online. It was definitely an experience that I do not regret, even though the game has definitely come a far way since then. Why am I mentioning this? Well, Memorial Day 2016. I had an evening cookout, barbecue, whatever you want to call it, with my family. And before then, I decided, hey, I want to hang out with my best friend at his house. So I head on over there, and he says, hey, do you want to try out this game that just came out called Overwatch? Now, like I said, I didn't really know much about shooting games and stuff like that, even at this age. By this time, I was already in college, but I was so far behind everyone else when it came to shooter games, I just wasn't in the know-how. And I was like, I don't really know. And he's like, listen, this game is a lot of fun. It's like Team Fortress 2, except there's way more characters, and they all have different personalities and stuff like that. And that immediately sold me. Now, at the time, he was playing it on Xbox One, so I sat down, he gave me the controller, I played through the tutorial, I was like, wait a minute, this is really cool. I like the art style, I like the direction. Dropped into a match versus AI, and I was in love with this game. It completely sold me over in a heartbeat. I was like, this is the best thing ever. What's it rated? Because if it's rated M, my parents aren't going to let it get into the house, even though I'm old enough to buy M games. Yeah, it was that crazy. Driving back from my best friend's house to the cookout, I just couldn't stop thinking about Overwatch and that experience I just had. So what did I do? I did something that I have never, and I mean never done to this point, and that was an impulse buy. I come from a very frugal family. I've learned to save and just to be very careful of your finances. I was working a very low-paying lifeguarding and also swim team coaching job. So, I only had summer money. I didn't really have income throughout the whole year. But I decided, what the heck, I really want to play this game. It also helped that the game wasn't a full-pledged game. I think, actually no, I take that back. The console version had to be $60 to be with the rest of the prices, so you got a special anniversary edition with extra skin and stuff like that. That's besides the point. Anyway, I immediately made a hard right turn into the GameStop, and I bought the game before coming home to the cookout. And when I tell you, I plugged that thing into the Xbox One, and I played Overwatch so much that summer. It was so fun. I was playing with my friend over, chat. I was meeting new people, so many new friends. I wasn't great at the game, but I was having fun. It was addicting. The gameplay, the style, everything. I got up to over level 100 in I want to say 3 weeks almost. And that was also back when it scaled when you leveled up, and Anyway, besides the point, it was super, super fun. I was playing at least 2 to 6 hours a day when I could. My girlfriend at the time, I even got her into it. She was kind of I don't know, I play Call of Duty. I was like, this game's fun, check it out. So we would even switch the controller off here and there. I grinded the crap out of this game. My best friend was kind of an a-hole and switched to PC gaming very soon after. So probably a few months after he went to PC. This was before crossplay was a thing. So I had to play by myself, but that did not deter me. No. And I was having so much fun, and I was playing as Tracer, and I was starting to get 14, 15, 20 bombs in matches and games. I was getting used to her playstyle because I played a lot of Scout and Team Fortress. Anyway, I was like, okay, I kind of want to smurf. I want to start a new account. I want to start fresh now that I know how to play the game and just really grind Tracer. Just really, she is my main. I love her. She's great. And so I spent a whole day at work. I was coaching kids at on the swim team. They're doing swim practice, and one, I'm just praising this game. I'm telling all of the kids that were into like video games, stuff like that, oh, Overwatch is great, oh, this is amazing, blah 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 blah. And I'm sitting there and I'm trying to think, okay, what would be a good username for me to use as a Smurf, as a secondary, but also to start YouTube. I was really interested in creating a YouTube channel and just really trying stuff with that. And I was like, well, I'm very OCD. I'm always trying to like reset stuff, and that's the name just came to me, OCDsaster. Now, it wasn't spelled the way I spell it now, but OCDsaster was a complete, like, whoa, eye-opening experience. It just came to the top of my head one day when I was just sitting there at the pool, just trying to come up with ideas in my head. And that's how the whole OCDsaster username and everything afterwards came to be, actually, was from a Smurf account for Overwatch. That's how important Overwatch was to me. And I made that account, and I was, like I said, I was already like a level 100 something on my primary. On the Smurf one, I grinded even more. I got to way past level 500. I know that's nothing compared to some people, but like for me, and like sticking to a game for a long time, like I said, OCD, ADHD, stuff like that that was impressive. And I have over 100, 200, 300 hours in this game, and it progressively got worse, but I mean, for a very long time, I was actually having the time of my life. And that's actually the origin story for how OCDsaster came to be. I started doing other stuff when it came to like YouTube content, but Overwatch was like so fun, and I just had such a great time playing it. Then it did die down, it got toxic, and then they just kind of left the game stagnant, and they weren't updating it, and things weren't happening, and there was drama behind the loot boxes, and there was just so much going on. I was kind of burnt out. I could see a lot of the other Overwatch YouTubers were burnt out. I religiously watched Stylosa and Your Overwatch and all those people back in the day. And then I even watched pro esports for Overwatch, Overwatch League, which I don't really do that with video games. I don't really watch the esports versions of it. So it really had an impact on me. And I really liked just playing the game, being a part of the community, being a part of the culture. And then it died. It literally just stopped. They stopped producing content. They were recycling the same events over and over again, and I realized this is not the same as it used to be. There were a lot of metas, a lot of CCs, but I love Jeff Kaplan. Jeff Kaplan was great when he was on screen. It was such a treasure. I remember he did a live stream for Christmas where he just sat in front of a fireplace and just did a bunch of stuff, just leaned into the memes. It was so good. It was so great. He really was the heart of Overwatch. And then in 2019, something crazy happened. At BlizzCon, they announced Overwatch 2. And when I mean they announced, I mean like a full-on trailer, and they were dropping some heavy things. I'm telling you, when I saw that trailer and the music started swelling, tears came into my eyes. I felt like it was back in 2016 when I was playing the game for the first time again. I was watching it on screen. I was getting really emotional. I was like, what is going on? What is happening? And then they dropped this huge news that they're working on expanding the Overwatch universe by making a sequel that will have PvE, but not only have PvE, but also have skill trees and hero missions for each hero to make countless replayability. It's going to be a full-fledged campaign package that will come out, and Overwatch 1 will still be its thing, and then Overwatch 2 will be that, and then it'll be 5v5, there'll be push maps, there'll be all this other stuff, but you can, like, it was going to be this crazy thing that I did think was overly ambitious, where you could still play Overwatch 1, but have Overwatch 2 heroes in Overwatch 1, and then also have maps from Overwatch 2 and Overwatch 1, and your skins would transfer over, and everything that you unlocked and progressed would go over to Overwatch 2. Jeff was like beaming and giving out all this information and news, and everyone was losing their crap. Like, this was what we needed, this is what we wanted, this was going to set the standard, the next level for Overwatch. It was the next advanced step. It deserved the 2 for what they were selling. It seemed like it was a lot closer to than they originally said. This was going to bring in a whole new market, because you have the competitive Overwatch players that are really about ranked, really about that kind of level. You have the casual like me that would jump into quick play and just have fun. And now this PvE experience was going to bring in the normies, the noobs, the people that didn't care about the competitive or PvP at all. They wanted the PvE experience. And what they showed off, even though it was brief, was really really cool. And so that kind of sold everyone immediately. Everyone was like, all right, let's go, let's get it. It's going to take some time, but we're going to get Overwatch 2. Lo and behold, a few years later, they're still pitching it. Jeff is still there. They're saying, it's taking a lot more time, which is why development on Overwatch 1 has become stagnant. But people were holding out hope. People were getting amped up. They're like, it's okay because we're getting this soon. And then Jeff left. And I don't know about anyone else that's part of the Overwatch community, but when Jeff left, there was a part of me in the back of my head that's like, okay, that's a really big red flag. Because he was the heart of Overwatch. He loved Overwatch. It was his baby. And the fact that he left meant that there's something had to be going on internally. But they didn't say anything, and everyone was like, okay, let's keep going. And then the Activision Blizzard lawsuit came out with the huge scandals and, terrible things that the company was doing, the work culture. I don't know, nor do I think Jeff had anything to do with that. I think his was more about what I'm going to go into in a minute. Anyway, so all that happened, bad publicity for Blizzard. I feel, this is alleged, this is just my personal opinion, that was when they're like, okay, let's just throw out what we have for Overwatch 2 to kind of like deter people. Because this is what video game companies do, right? Riot did this with Valorant, right? So Riot was under a lot of fire because there was a lot of like toxic workplace behavior, lawsuits, stuff like that, and they were getting really bad press. They released Valorant, and then everyone forgets that, Riot had all this, shitty stuff happening. So it's the same thing. They're like, all right, let's just get something out there to kind of like ease the fire, ease the flames, because Blizzard was getting roasted. And I was part of the people that were roasting them because they deserved to be roasted because it was bad. Anyway, it had nothing to do really with the developers, from my understanding, from Team 4 and the Overwatch side of things that I know of. It was more so like the Call of Duty and other spaces of Activision. Besides the point, they released it and it was not what anyone expected. It was literally just Overwatch diet. Overwatch like 1.2. I'm not even going to say 1.5 because you got rid of a tank role, so now it's 5v5. You have the push map. The maps now have like alternate night and day cycles, which was different from the original, so yay, yippee. And the engine changed because they claimed that they needed a new engine to do the PvE experience. But what was already changed from what they originally promised in 2019 at BlizzCon is now Overwatch 1 is Overwatch 2. They are not separate games. They are now one game, and you have to have Overwatch in order to get Overwatch 2, and you need to pre-order in order to get early access to the beta, which means you have to put down $40, and then some tokens from your previous account will come over to get you some skins. You have skins from the old game, but if you want the new skins, then not so fast. Also, we got rid of the loot boxes because it was too controversial. So now there's a battle pass, and the battle pass is really expensive, and you have to put in real money, obviously, for the battle pass. If you want to do the free track, you can, but sorry, the new heroes that we promised you and a bunch of other content, like that's locked behind the premium battle pass, which you have to pay for, and it became this whole mess. And I know I'm just kind of glazing over a lot of it, but it's kind of irrelevant. Basically, what they promised already started to change, and I think that's when a lot of people were sitting back like, what is happening? From a business standpoint, yes, it makes sense to move over to a free live service model, even though it technically wasn't free for like the beta before like actual launch in October. They kept saying, hold off, PvE is coming, do not worry, we wanted to get this out the door, we wanted to ship it early, just so that way players can feel what this new Overwatch is going to be. We're going to do drops all the time for Twitch streamers, so that way it looks like there's a lot of viewership on the game, and it's going to be fine, it's going to be okay. We'll do a few esport events and stuff like that, right? And that's when things kind of went sour. A lot of people were calling Blizzard out for the cheapness of their practice. Instead of being a boxed game, it's now this free service model like Fortnite, Apex, what a lot of the market is doing. But it didn't really work for this game and its culture, and the battle pass was super expensive for like the most bogus of things. There was allegedly questionable legal stuff because it looked like a lot of stuff was like discounted in the shop, even though you're not supposed to do that unless you have original prices first. And it was really messy, and Blizzard really didn't fix that until a few months later after controversy and hit pieces and articles like that. But the biggest thing was they were still promising this PvE experience, and at this point I was burnt out from Overwatch. I tried the new 5v5 and I was like, okay, this is cool, but I'm really only sticking around for this PvE. I really want to do PvE. I really want to have fun with my friends, this co-op experience, this endless replayability. They said it's coming. There was rumors that it was now going to be packaged in the Battle Pass, but I was still okay with it because it seemed like what they were doing was crazy with these skill trees and these perks and these hero missions. And then, what do you know? It's 2023, and they announce that PvE is still happening, but the overall vision and what they sold at the beginning and what they were selling us when Jeff was in charge was completely different. So no more skill trees, no more hero missions and hero progression. You're going to get these story cinematics and missions in chunks in each season of the Battle Pass. And although we don't know what that content is like yet, it could be decent. It's not enough. It's not what was promised, and I am livid. I am absolutely just astounded by the stupidity of Blizzard. And once again, I do not blame the devs. I think the devs, I do think they have a slight part in this, especially, Aaron Keller, I think is his name. I can't even remember. Keller, being more transparent about it and still, whatever. But it's definitely the higher, it's Bobby, it's the higher people at Activision Blizzard making the calls, the suits. But it was so bad. My heart sunk. I got actually angry. Like, I don't usually get angry at companies. I think companies are stupid and can do some stupid things. I can get irritated and frustrated, but I was angry because this is something that I did not sign up for, and now you're paywalling it, and now there's all this other stuff on top of it, and there's rumors and leaks from people that worked at Activision that they knew about this a while ago, like a while ago, like 2019, 2020, but because they wanted Battle Pass, once again, this is alleged, wanted Battle Pass sales to increase, they just kept stringing people along. Regardless, they've lost my trust and my hope in Activision Blizzard and in Overwatch, and it really hurts because, like I said at the beginning of the story, this was one of those games that really did change my life. I know that sounds dramatic, but like it really did. It really, like, it brought this whimsical, fun side to gaming for me again. And now it's completely tainted and ruined by Blizzard and by, honestly, Team 4, even though, like I said, it's not always the developer's faults. Like, they should have stood up. They should have done something. This is alleged, I do not know. I think Jeff left once he realized that this vision was not happening and that he didn't want to be the one to go out on stage and have to say, hey, remember in 2019 when I said we were doing all this cool stuff? Yeah, well, now we're only doing a third of what we promised. Oh, and you now have to pay every single time you want this experience. This was going to be shipped out as one thing, like $40, full campaign, all this stuff. And it was going to be like the Borderlands version of Overwatch, and everyone was like really excited. Now it's literally you have to pay for a battle pass each time you want a new chapter and new missions, and that's not going to hold the retention of current players and new players, Blizzard. I know you want to push Battle Pass sales so bad because you want a sustaining business model. I know you want people to keep purchase, even though, the game is only worth, right now, it's only worth like $30. If you had to give Overwatch 2, which doesn't deserve its name anymore, by the way, a full price, I would say $30 is the best you can give because you're not getting any value out of it. There's nothing valuable of Overwatch 2 versus Overwatch 1. It did a few other things, and that's absolutely it. You haven't delivered on anything. You've given us new heroes, but now they're locked behind a battle pass that you have to pay for. You want skins that are really hard to get. You can no longer, level up and grind and get lucky. I mean, loot boxes were like, they were iffy, like paying money for gambling. I get that. But look at Apex. Apex, you can't pay for the packs, but you get them for leveling up, and you can unlock cool shit. And that's also part of the dopamine that you get in your head to keep going. And that's kind of what helped with Overwatch. I have so many cool skins, but now I don't have any unlockables or any new characters because I'm not paying enough money to the shop. I have the premium battle pass. I'm the fool that paid into it because I thought, oh, it'll eventually be worth it. I forget what that's called, buyer remorse or whatever like that. But I didn't get anything from it. I got the new heroes, whoop-de-doo. You shouldn't paywall the new heroes because then they're going to eventually be broken or better, and so then everyone's going to have to buy the battle pass in order to get them or counter and competitive. It's a whole messy ecosystem that they've set themselves up for, but they know that they did it because they know it's going to drive sales. They know the whales are going to come. They know it's going to happen, but at what expense? You killed your integrity. You killed the faith in the Overwatch community. No one is happy about this decision. You're trying to backpedal and PR your way through saying, well, it's still PvE. No, it's not. It's just a glorified archives event like you did in Overwatch 1. It might be better, but once again, if it's only in pieces, people are going to fall away. People aren't going to be engaged. No normie, no new person is going to jump into Overwatch 2 to play an hour or 2 hours of a story mode and then have to wait until the next season to put in another $5, $10, $15 just to play the second part. If you have one bad part of the story mission, you've already lost retention. You have lost a whole new market that you could have potentially had. You fucking idiots. You can hear it in my voice. I'm getting angry because although a lot of games succeed from the free-to-play live service battle pass, system, Blizzard is so big and so ginormous. They could have done this so much smarter. They could have done this where you could incorporate a battle pass after you focused on the PvE, after you were transparent with your players, after you had stuff set up. But because you got greedy, and that's what it comes down to is greed, because you got greedy and because the people at the top get to make all the decisions, the players are the ones that pay for it. And what really sucks is I know there's so many loyal people and so many mindless zombies that are going to keep buying into this. They're going to keep paying Blizzard. They're going to be the whales. Everyone's going to keep giving them the money because they know they can get away with it. And then it's going to be like, boom, that's it. Right? They can keep getting away with it. These companies are going to keep getting away with it. I hope you guys realize this. Now it's going into a whole different rant. I need to stop myself. But the consumer has the power, but at the same time, there's psychologists and there's these business entities that know how to manipulate the consumer and make the consumer feel like that they're under the whim of the company. And so it's this weird relationship. It's this weird psychological fuckery, basically. And it's bad. If you put your wallet to anything, then they're just going to keep doing it to get more money. And there's always going to be those people, those sheep that do not care. Or the people that are like, oh, but it's still going to be good. How do you know yet? How do you know it's still going to be good? And it's not what they promised. It wasn't their key value proposition, right? It's not fair. It's wrong. It's ethically wrong. It's morally wrong. I am disgusted. I know this video came out a little bit late compared to the news, but I wanted time to let it sink in, to really think about it. And I can't stop thinking about it because it really did strike a really bad nerve with me. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I have Overwatch 2. I love playing Overwatch 2 with my friends, even when we're getting rolled. My one friend, that's solely the game we play together. So it would just be weird to just boycott or completely drop the game, but now it's not going to be what I want it to be. So what's the point? The reason why I was holding on for so long is because I thought PvE was coming with the progression system, with all this fun co-op. And now it's just going to be PvP. And unless they can really put a lot of effort into PvP now and put money where their mouth is, because they said they value the PvP experience, if PvP doesn't get better and these events don't get better, then I really hope people start turning away from Overwatch. Because that's not fair. That's manipulation. To just keep doing the same thing after saying you gave up on something that everyone was excited for to focus on PvP, but then the PvP experience doesn't get back to Overwatch 1, Overwatch 2016 level. No, that's unacceptable. So yeah, I had to talk about it because Overwatch is so pivotal to what I originally started with YouTube, with my username, with gaming in general. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments if you made it this far. If you made it this far, wow, thank you so much for watching the video all the way through. I really do appreciate you. I'm currently going through this weird thing where I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this channel. Besides Overwatch, I was really into Smash and Kingdom Hearts content, but those things aren't really lucrative in the YouTube space. It's only when a new game comes out is it a hot topic, or like new like trailers and teasers, does things start being like a hot topic and people actually care, and then it just dies and becomes dormant with the news. So I'm trying to find something that's a little bit more sustainable, more fun for me to do, more entertaining for you. So yeah, just be on the lookout for some interesting different type of content. And if that's not your thing, then thank you for subscribing for so long. We hit the 1,000 subs. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate you guys more than anything. And I'm just here to share stories and entertain and play video games and do all that fun stuff. So with that being said, I'll see you on the flip side, and stay tuned for updates and all the fun stuff. All right, bye.